Hello once again, Sagittarius. Thanks for joining me. It's March 2014. I'm Dadhichi with your monthly forecast. To those of you who are new, welcome. And I'd like to ask you, first up, slow down. We need a little mini meditation for Sagittarians this month due to the wild and unusual activity of Mercury in your third sector of short journeys and activities. You're probably running around busy, but doing what? So why I've asked you to just slow it down a little bit, I want you to ask yourself the question, what am I achieving with all of this activity? I notice a lot of people are often busy, but if you actually look at the product, the end result of all of this activity, we talk about return on investment. What's your return on investment? How much time? How much energy, how much money are you investing in this busyness? You'll come to an understanding that perhaps, 50, 60, even 70% of this activity is not necessary. You need to offload some of that and really get focused on, it's the 80-20 principle. I don't know whether you've heard of that. Find what activity in which you're spending 80% of your time is only giving you 20% of the return, and then balance that out against the 20% of the activity that is actually giving you 80% of the return. Then you're going to be in a better position to see exactly where your time is most valuably spent. That's important. We see Mars in the 11th house. Now, possibly part of your distraction is social life. 11th house is very sociable. So you're busy in your friendships, you're busy going out to cocktail parties. Of course, there are some advantages to that if you can network and get your business card out. Otherwise, it's wasted time. We see there the Mars in the 11th house. We see Saturn still transiting your 12th house. That should be, as a continuance from last month, giving you a bit of a retrospective view on your actions, how you've been functioning. And so this month I'm just extrapolating on that so that you can really identify those activities, those people. Now, sometimes when you're super busy, Sag, what can happen is that you overlook important details. I say that because you've got this very hard aspect on the 11th of March between Mercury and Saturn, a few days leading up to that as well. This third sector of Mercury has a lot to do with communication. This can actually be miscommunications. You might not actually hear what's being said. If your mind is roaming off with other activities that you consider to be important, other thought processes that mean you're not focused on what's being said, that could be a big blunder for you. So pay very, very strict attention, especially between the 8th and the 11th. Better aspects around the 14th, 15th, and then again the 18th. These are nice aspects of Mercury and the Sun to Saturn and Mars. So that Mercury in the 4th house is excellent for young kids. In the Hindu tradition, it is considered to be a young boy. Therefore, young children should be a focus for you now. Nephews, nieces, your own children. And also the aspect on the 19th of Venus to Uranus in the 5th house is excellent if you're looking to go away with someone you love, a little bit of time out. So this aspect is wonderful. Time to get away, enjoy some nature, enjoy each other's company in a one-to-one. It's a great communication aspect too, having Venus in that third sector. There's a tough aspect from Mercury to your career sector on the 20th. So this is one of those aspects, again, similar to what I mentioned earlier. If you're not listening to the directive of your employers or your managers, you might actually embark on a whole new pathway of work which is completely wrong, and you'd hate to discover that down the track. So take note specifically of what has to be done, and don't be afraid to ask people to repeat themselves. That way you're not going to make errors of judgment. The latter part of the month isn't bad either. If you look there at the continuing 4th sector aspect from Mercury to Jupiter in the 8th, I really like that. There's a real jovial, open, honest sort of communication that comes with this aspect. Mercury and Jupiter. And this is the classic deep and meaningful discussion that can occur between you and someone that's close, a friend, a lover, even a family member. Don't forget, this Mercury in the 4th house relates to many family circumstances and relatives. That's the 27th. 28th also shows us similar sort of aspect, the depth to which you can get into these discussions. Now that could actually be very, very revealing. You might learn something about yourself, something about your past that you didn't know. And that's always good, because the more you understand, the more understanding there is. Some of the final aspects, the 30th, that Venus again in the 3rd house to Mars in the 11th. Again, this is the continuing theme of really, really great communication, not just with your family members, but here we see 11th house, which is friends and acquaintances. The tough aspect of Venus to Saturn on the 30th, the same day, is sort of a hot-cold type of aspect. You've got this strong desire to communicate, but maybe somewhere along the line, someone's going to cut you off there, and you're not going to feel the same reciprocal energy from that person. Don't worry, it's just a temporary thing, and you've just got to take responsibility for how you feel and how you communicate to other people. So Sagittarius, until next month, please join me at astrology.com.au. More detailed information for you there, and I hope you have a safe and prosperous month till the next time I see you.